Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. I hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. Today's discussion topic is going to be top 5 worst best Jeeps ever made. That's the discussion topic. I'm going to list my top 5 worst Jeeps and my top 5 favorite Jeeps of all time. Again, it's my opinion. You can agree with me or disagree with me down in the comments. So, let's get right into it. I'm going to start this off with my top 5 best Jeeps ever built. And obviously, numero uno, the one that stands out the most is the Jeep Wrangler. I mean, come on. How do we not like the Jeep Wrangler? It was in Jurassic Park, for Christ's sakes, right? The epic, the iconic, the symbolism behind the Jeep Wrangler is just, it's so far and beyond what it actually is. Everybody loves the Wrangler, and I especially love the new ones they have now, where it's got a 4-door option, which makes it even better. My number 2 favorite of all time, and this goes without saying because a lot of you know that I've owned one in the past, and it is the Jeep Cherokee Sport. You can just do so much with this thing. Go to jcroffroad.com. You can find bumpers, lift kits, attachments, all kinds of things. They got the Rubicon Express lift kit that you can get off of eBay, Mojave off-road bumpers, the do-it-yourself bumpers. They're just wicked awesome. Look, as far as I'm concerned, you can just do a lot with the XJ. Absolutely phenomenal. Love it. A little bit tight quarters, but love it. Absolutely love it. Now the next one, some of you guys may or may not know of, or at least you may or may not consider it a Jeep. I sure do, because I think it is like, if it was still around today, I would buy one, but it's so hard to find these nowadays, and that is the Jeep Comanche. That's right, I said it, the pickup truck version that Jeep made. It is just cool, man. It's cool. I don't know how you can not like the Comanche. I think for that little pickup truck, the fact that they made it, I wish they still made it. It is what it is. But that doesn't mean that there's not room for the future, because they are talking about coming out with a Jeep Gladiator. Now, this is not part of the list, but I'm letting you guys know that they are considering doing a 4-door option Jeep with a truck bed attached to it, and they're going to be calling it the Gladiator. How cool it's going to be, I have no idea. We'll just wait and see. Again, not part of the list, but wanted to throw out an honorable mention that Jeep is coming back with some kind of pickup truck, and I cannot wait to see it. The next one is going to be the Willys. The Willys, man, come on, how can you not like the Willys Jeep? Looks like a Wrangler. They used it back during World War II, maybe even earlier before that. This thing is like an iconic staple for the Jeep platform. I mean, everyone's seen the World War II movies. You go back to watching the old remakes and how people did a lot of things. It was so cool. It was just one of those things. I mean, Cars, even the movie Cars incorporated that Jeep into the movie, and I just think it's epic, and we cannot just not include it in the top 5 best Jeeps ever made. That's why I'm throwing it in there. Last but not least, and for me, I think it was crucial at the time to have something of this caliber. Not saying that I would ever buy one, but if anyone ever had one for sale and it was the right price, I might take them up on their offer. But the last top 5 for my best and most favorite Jeeps is the Jeep Wagoneer. I know AMC kind of killed it with their Rambler version, but the Wagoneer was actually pretty cool and iconic for its time. It offered, 2 or 3 row seating. It had a nice, long cargo space in the back. You could take the family camping, hiking on long trips. The thing was, it far exceeded its time frame when it came out in the 80s, and it was cool. I think it was cool. You guys might not think so. I think it was cool. I especially like that that wood style that it had behind it. A lot of surfers in California loved those things because you could fit a longboard on the top of it. Look, they were cool, man. That was like the hippie wagon of the 80s, if there ever was one. All right, now we're gonna go with my top 5, what I believe are the worst Jeeps ever made. The worst, man, I'm telling you, I cannot believe they even invested money in making these things. And the first one, and I have to put it at the top of the list because I cannot believe that DC World went out of their way to make a movie with Batman, I mean, get it, starring Ben Affleck, but you made Batman drive a Jeep Renegade. How can you do that? Batman doesn't drive Jeep Renegades around town, and you can't look cool in a Jeep Renegade. I'm sorry. Now, granted, I did like the song in the commercial. That has nothing to do with the actual car itself. I think it's just gay, man. There's no way Batman should ever be in that. You're talking like James Bond status here, right? We're talking Bruce Wayne. It's Bruce motherfucking Wayne. Multi-millionaire, and all he can afford to ride around in is a Jeep Wrangler that costs 20 grand? No! You don't put that in a movie. Any rate, I'm getting off topic a little bit because of my frustration with the whole Jeep Renegade platform. So clearly either Ben Affleck or the studio was getting paid buku dollars to insert said ad in said movie. That's why I think it was in there. All that aside, I think it is the worst one ever. I mean, it even comes down to my first PDI I ever did with the introduction of the Jeep Renegade, where I went to push the start button and the button actually went through the console or the steering wheel. Terrible design. Worst Jeep ever made, bar none. All right, number 2, the Compass. What were we thinking with the Compass? I mean, come on. I don't even really know how to even add to that. Really, it's not a Jeep, man. It's not a Jeep. All right, on to the next one. 3, the Liberty. Oh my God, this thing, it looks bubbly. It almost looks like a Beetle had sex with the Grand Cherokee and then they made the Liberty. It's terrible. It is a terrible look. I think it's a terrible vehicle. The 3.7 was awful. They had valve train issues where the the rockers would come out. I mean, overall, terrible design, terrible engine. Just no way in heck I would ever want to own it, period. The Commander, that's number 4. The Commander, look, at first I thought it was kind of cool looking, but then after getting to know the ins and outs and actually working around it and looking at it, there's just no way that you can really feasibly make that any kind of an off-road SUV whatsoever. There's no bumpers that you can change out. I mean, if you put a lift kit on it, it would look gay. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not really a Jeep as far as I'm concerned. You might disagree with me. I'm just throwing it out there, man. Look, the Commander, I guess it had a little bit of likeness to it because it was supposed to be more of a luxury option for somebody that wanted something a little bit more bigger, a little bit more boxier, but was still gas friendly. But overall, not a Jeep. All right, the last one. Absolutely, this is my pet peeve with the last one, and I should have put it more closer to the top, but I'll tell you this. The last one is the Jeep Patriot. Look, inside, outside, I almost fell in love with the Jeep Patriot in the very beginning as I was working at Chrysler because it had almost all the dexterity, the exterior, the interior, everything reminded me of like the 90s platform Cherokee. It really did, but between how it was a little bit boxy, but not too much boxy. It had the same shelving platform on the passenger side. It was comfortable. It was a little bit tight, but not too tight. And I thought overall, if you were to put like some mud terrains, had a nice little lift kit, overall it could be kind of cool. But it was how they did their drivetrain that really kind of ruined it. They ended up putting a 2.4 in it, and it didn't work out. They even put a PTU to try to make it an all-wheel drive option, which also didn't really work out. And their automatic transmissions, they're just terrible. They're absolutely terrible. Within 30,000 miles, you're changing out that CVT. That CVT platform was by far the worst design transmission they could have ever come up with. Don't even get me started on the engine, but I'm telling you, as far as the CVT, absolutely worst design ever. I think if they would have put a 3.6 in it, figured out how to make it, you know, from front to back, north to south option with a durable transmission, a durable transfer case, and man, made it more outdoor friendly, I think it would have been a beast, and it would have been very comparable and very competitive as far as the automotive realm, with people wanting to go more off-road and everything else. Look, the Wrangler, the JK is by far one of the coolest things that they have on their platform right now. They had an option, they had a way that they could have gone with that, but they chose not to, and that's why I'm saying the Jeep Patriot is a terrible option, both because of how fast the drivetrain goes out, both the transmission and the engine. As far as its oil consumption, it really doesn't get as good of fuel economy as it probably should, and overall, I just think it cannot be considered a Jeep based on those factors. You can't do anything to it. It's a terrible design overall. It was meant for in-town small commutes, and that was pretty much it. Not a Jeep, right? That's all I got for this video, guys. Hey, if you agree with me, put it down in the comments. If you disagree with me, put it down in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Share if you want to share it. Let me know what your favorite Jeeps are and what the worst Jeeps are as far as what you would consider a Jeep or not a Jeep. That's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Deuces.